Alright, what's up guys? I am here today to kind of start off a new series that I've been thinking about and planning out for a while. I think I'm going to call it college cutting. So basically, number one thing that I always get asked about is, how do I lose weight? How do I lose fat? So I think kind of niching it with college, obviously anyone's going to be able to benefit from a lot of the things that I share. But a lot of my friends and a lot of people that do hit me up are college age, my age. So I think adding in some stuff with how to manage it around classes and the typical college schedule will really help out. But basically the idea behind the series is each clip will be anywhere from probably 15 to 20 minutes, and it won't really be that workout based as in an instructional video about workouts. It'll be more kind of information based and kind of vlog formatted. So it'll be taking you through my day, my routines, different things and little tips and tricks and even like hacks I do to push down cravings. And then things like, this first one's gonna have how to calculate macros. Others I want to do are things like types of cardio and what they do, how to stay motivated, how to get past plateaus, things like that. So I want to kind of break that down and do kind of episodes and get into this series, and I think it's going to be pretty cool. So anyways, I'll get into the rest of the vlog and I hope you guys enjoy. Alright guys, so I kind of want to do a real physique update for you guys. I think that's important with cutting videos, especially with this new series. So I'm going to put up a picture like over here against these poses of what I kind of was my first day of cutting and then where I'm at now. So first I'll hit a front lat spread. Okay, do back. Right, lighting wise, okay. But just kind of my posing, this is where I'm at posing wise. Just kind of a real update for you guys. Hopefully this series can help you guys achieve some results. Now we'll get into the actual macro chat, so apologize for taking extra time, but hope you guys enjoy. Hey, what's up guys? Today I'm going to be showing you how to track your macros. This is the number one question I get asked every time somebody kind of approaches me about their dieting or how they need to basically accomplish their goals, whether it be bulking or cutting. The number one thing that I ask back to them is, what macros are you hitting? What are your goals as far as proteins, carbs, and fats? And usually people don't know what that means, what macros are. So I thought doing a video on it would be very beneficial to everyone. And it's just something that you really need to know in the fitness industry, or if you're going to be able to accomplish those goals at all. So first of all, macros, like I said, are your amount of grams of proteins, carbs, and fats, and these numbers add up to make up your calories. So basically what we're going to do, I'm going to take you through in this video, is these 3 steps, which is finding your maintenance calories, adjusting for your goal, whether it be bulking or cutting or maintaining, and then number 3, finding your numbers for your grams of proteins, fats, and carbs. So I'm going to go ahead and get into the video. Here we go. Okay, so I set up the kind of formula to start off with figuring out our maintenance calories. So what I did was I just tracked right at about the weight I'm at right now. I'm down to about 178, but I rounded up to 180 just to make it easier math. And then what we've got here is I have my weight up here, and then we have basically a scale. And obviously this isn't exact, but this is kind of the easiest way to figure out these calories. So you're going to have a scale of 14 to 16, so 14, 15, 16. And what this is a scale of how active you are. So whenever I'm first usually kind of mapping out my macros, I usually want to go with like a 14 because I don't consider myself, even though I do a lot of fitness type stuff, I don't consider myself super active. Now right now in my cup, doing 5 hours per week of cardio and stuff, I would consider myself super active, so I would not use this for any type of competition-based macro kind of laying out macros for a competition, and you're going to want to keep carbs lower and all that stuff, but we won't get into that. Anyways, just basic setting up your maintenance calories. You want 14, if you're going to multiply your weight, times 14 if you're kind of on that not very active end, which I kind of recommend if you're starting out, especially for a cut, because that's just going to give you a little bit less calories starting off. Or if you're super active, maybe your job requires you to be walking around all day long, moving around all day long. You spend very little time at a desk, or in school we spend a lot of time at desks, or waiting in between classes in the library and stuff. So if you do the opposite of that, you're moving around all day long, then I would go with a 15 or a 16 whenever you're multiplying this out. But I went ahead and did a 14 because that's what I would usually do if I was starting a cut from right now. So I did 180 times 14, and that gives me 2,520 calories as my maintenance calories. So that means if I ate that amount of calories every day, I would maintain my current weight and be just fine. So your next stage, which is step 2 of kind of what the process that we laid out, is to adjust it for your cut or your bulk. So you can adjust these calories by anywhere from 250 if you want to start out really slow to 750 calories. So kind of the sweet spot in between those two is 500, which is usually what I start out with. So if I'm going to bulk, I would go up to 3,020 calories. If I was going to start a cut from right here, I would go down 500 and be right here at 2,020 calories. So that would be my initial starting calories for the beginning of a cut. Now that's not calculating in any cardio or anything like that, but this is where I'd want to be for a cut. So your cardio is obviously going to take out of that, or basically the opposite of that would be if you were to bulk, you'd be at 3,020 calories. You're not going to have any cardio with the bulk, obviously. But that is steps 1 and 2 for the process. Now we're going to get into how to find your proteins, carbs, and fats. Okay, so we're going to start out with calculating your protein intake. So protein's again going to be on kind of that idea of a scale. So you're going to multiply your body weight times anywhere from 0.75 to 1.25. And so just to kind of give people a reference, if your starting point is above 20% body fat, or if you have a high body fat percentage, then you want to start out with this 0.75 number. If you're below 20%, maybe you have some abs visible, then you want to start out around 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. And then if you get into kind of where I'll be getting close to pretty soon, competing, if you're already super shredded, you're sub 10% body fat, then you want to be around that 1.25 grams per pound of lean body weight, just because you want to try to preserve as much of that muscle as possible, and proteins the way you do that. So right here, and I just kind of put where I always start out with my kind of cuts or bulks or anything really, is I start out with just at 1, and so that's kind of how I started out with my macros for my last cut and everything. And so I did 180 times 1, and then got 180 grams of protein. So now we'll move on to your fats. Okay, so next we're going to be calculating our fat. So again, it's another scale. Basically what you're going to do is you're going to multiply your body weight again times anywhere from 0.3 to 0.4. So how you're going to gauge yourself on this scale is you're going to look at, do you like more carbs in your diet, or do you like more fatty foods? And then if you're kind of in the middle, you don't really care either way, then you can do this 0.35 number. But if you like carbs a lot, you're going to want to do 0.3 because that'll be less fat, leaving room for more carbs. If you like fattier foods, then you're going to go with the 0.4 number, because that's going to leave you less room for carbs whenever we go to calculate that. So I'm kind of in the middle usually, and so I went with 180 times 0.35, which is the don't care number, and it came out to 62 grams of fat, but it's just kind of a weird number, so I rounded it over to 60. So far we've got my protein would be 180 grams, my fat would be 60 grams, and then now we'll move on to carbs. Okay, so one important thing that we need to talk about is how your macros, which are macronutrients, I should have probably mentioned that earlier, but how they fit into calories. So each gram of protein is 4 calories, each gram of carbs is 4 calories, and each gram of fat equals out to 9 calories. So your macronutrients are what actually are added up to equal your calories, so they fit into your calories. So basically what you're going to do to find your carbs is, this was my cutting calories that I found, so my maintenance calories of 2520 minus the 500 for cutting, and then I did my protein intake, so 180 grams times 4, that's how you turn it into calories, got 720. And then I did for fat, I did my 60 grams times 9, that's how I converted it to calories, got 540. Subtracted that out and got 760 calories. That's how much I have left calorie wise to put into carbs. So then what I did was divided that by 4 to get into grams and got 190 grams of carbs. So my full macros were 180 grams of protein, 60 grams of fat, and 190 grams of carbs. Now, a couple of important things, whether you're bulking or cutting, you want to shoot for around 1 to 2 pounds of gaining or losing weight per week. Now, whenever you first start out, especially if you go with a number like 500 to add or subtract to your initial maintenance calories, whenever you first start out, you might lose 5 pounds in your first week. Don't expect that to continue, and if it does continue, then that's not healthy at all. Aim for that 1 to 2 pounds per week of progress, and if you end up hitting a plateau or something, then you need to, especially if you're cutting, if you hit a plateau, then you need to take some from this carb number, and just subtract maybe 15 grams of carbs at a time. So take out 15 grams of carbs, see how that affects you for the next week. If you need to take out more, take out more. The other thing you can do is add cardio. So if you haven't already incorporated cardio into your routine, add cardio, do that for a week or two, and track your results and see how that helps you from there. I think that's really about it. Kind of the reason that I wanted to do this video is because I've had a lot of people want me to calculate their macros, and I don't really have the time to get to everybody's macros between everything that I'm doing and stuff. So I thought it'd be really helpful and valuable for you guys to be able to learn how to do it yourselves, and then I can kind of just shoot this link to people if they need the help. The only other thing that I could see people needing is maybe kind of an accountability partner, because some of the people that early on kind of hit me up to help them with their macros, I would say, shoot me a screenshot of your MyFitnessPal, which is an app that you need to be tracking your macros in some type of app, obviously. If you're trying to track it in your head or on paper, it's just going to be way too difficult. So I recommend MyFitnessPal. It's an app that Under Armour makes. It's free, super easy to track in there. You just search your food or scan the barcode, and it'll track it all for you. But anyways, one thing that I used to have people do was send me their screenshots at the end of the day of what their macros look like, so to make sure that they're staying on track, kind of help them throughout the process, and if they end up hitting plateaus, I would kind of help them with that as well. And I just thought it was kind of valuable because you don't need a coach to do this type of stuff for you. Currently I'm having someone that is doing my macros, but that's because I'm in competition prep, and so my macros are going to be a lot more kind of down to the number, down to the my meal plan is down to how many meals I should have per day, at what time I need to be getting these nutrients, stuff like that, to maximize my fat loss and kind of getting shredded into this process of the competition. So I'm utilizing a coach for that reason, because mine's got to be a lot more scientific. But for just getting started, this is a really good kind of setup. So I hope you guys were able to follow along, kind of comment, let me know if you were, or send me a message on Instagram. Like I said, if you get any value out of it, like, subscribe, share the video with somebody if you know they need the help as well. And I appreciate you guys watching. Thank you.